Whoa.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
What?
Whoa. Josina Anderson, who is plugged and has been plugged around the NFL for a long time, connected, says, breaking, I'm told the Eagles are working to trade for quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Rap, I saw you go down to your phone in a quick manner. We got to really showcase that beautiful haircut you have.
That is true.
Breaking news out of the NFL. Former Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen expected to sign with the Steelers. That's been confirmed by our NFL insider Jonathan Jones. It's a reported 3-year, $41 million deal. And Queen jumps over to Baltimore's fiercest rival in Pittsburgh, where he'll join T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward on a formidable front seven. Drafted by the Ravens 4 years ago, he started every game in Baltimore and made his first Pro Bowl this past season.
Dante Jackson goes to the Panthers. Dante Jackson goes from Carolina to Pittsburgh. They swap 6th and 7th round picks. The Steelers getting the 6 from Carolina. Carolina getting the 7 from Pittsburgh. And Dante Jackson now off the books.
What's up, Steeler Nation? Just signed, baby. Fired up to wear the black and gold. Here we go.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially signed Russell Wilson. Pen to paper, it is official, right? He said it himself in that little video, and in my opinion, the Steelers just saved their entire franchise. I mean, they went 7 years without winning a playoff game. I think that ends this season with Russell Wilson and the other moves that they've made. I think Mike Tomlin and the new GM here have done such a great job building this team, making sure they're ready for next season, right? Making sure that they are contenders to maybe even win it all. And in this video, we're going to break down all these moves. I'm going to keep you guys updated with everything that's happened with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but why I think they can win it all next season, especially with what they've done so far, right? Now, let me know real quickly before we jump into the video, what do you grade this Steelers offseason so far, right? So a lot of ways to go with the draft, rest of free agency. What do you give it for a grade so far? And what do you think they need to do next in terms of making sure this team is ready for next season? But without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now, obviously, let's start with Russell Wilson. I mean, the man is coming off a pretty decent season, 26 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions, and ended up getting benched for the rest of the season. Now, Sean Payton in the Denver Broncos had it out for him, man. They said, hey, listen, if you don't get rid of your injury clause, yeah, we're not going to play you. Like, what is that? How do you say that to your starting quarterback? Like, okay, if you guys want to lose games, then sure. And that's basically what happened by the end of the season. They benched him while he was having a pretty good season. Now, in terms of the Pittsburgh Steelers, last year, they offensively were, quite frankly, terrible, right? 28th in points per game, 25 in yards per game, 21 third down conversion percentage, 25 and 4th down. I mean, they were just terrible. 27 in touchdowns per game. This team could not move the football outside of their ground game was relatively okay, right? They also add Arthur Smith, the guy who's really going to get this run game going. And you have a play action quarterback in Russell Wilson who can make plays happen on his feet, but also sells the play action very, very well. The run game next year for Pittsburgh is going to be insane, right? But then look at these passing numbers. I mean, 21 in completion percentage, 23 in yards per pass, 27 in passes per game. I mean, this offense was abysmal last season, and Russell Wilson changes that entire atmosphere. And then we get some crazy news that Kenny Pickett didn't handle the Russell Wilson signing well, and he wanted out. He didn't want to be here anymore. Leading up to this trade where they swapped Kenny Pickett to the Eagles, moved up 22 picks in the draft, and get 2 future 7ths as well. A good trade. Let's break that down a little bit before we move into some other acquisitions for the Steelers. Now, I think the number one thing this trade says about Kenny Pickett was he just wasn't, being man enough, right? He said, and there's rumors going out right now, he wasn't feeling good about the Russell Wilson signing. If you're Kenny Pickett, you look Russell Wilson in the eyes and you go compete. You try to win that starting job because who cares who's in front of you? What matters is who's starting day one, right? And what matters is how you respond to the signing. He said, no, get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. That's crazy, right? But also frees up some cap space, okay? Now, let's go on free agency. Let's go get a wide receiver. Let's go get a wide receiver in the draft, right? All we have right now after trading Dante Jackson is George Pickens and Calvin Austin. We need more weapons. And I think this is going to open up the door for Russell Wilson to be like, let me just start building chemistry with these guys now. George Pickens, Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, Najee, Jaylen Warren, Darnell Washington. Let me build this chemistry now rather than in training camp. Kenny Pickett starts one day, and then I start one day, and then Kenny starts this day, and then I get back to being getting the starter reps. Now we don't got to go through that. Russell Wilson is the guy. He can have the confidence. He can have everything he needs at his hand, right, to move forward with this team. I think this is actually big news. Do need a quarterback? Who should they get? Justin Fields is available in trade. If you get him for a 6th or a 7th, I think that could be solid. I think that could be good. But let me know what you guys think. What quarterback in the NFL or in the draft should they go get as a backup? Let's get back into the video.
Wilson, by the way, gave us a boost last night before midnight. Decided to just announce that he was going to the Steelers. There's no deal to be done. It's not like they agreed to terms. Russell Wilson's contract is what it is, $1.2 million.
We're going to utilize Najee. We got Pickens. Deontay's potential on his way out. Strengthening up the offensive line. Freiermuth's going to be making plays, even though Russell allegedly doesn't like to throw over the middle to the tight end. But nonetheless, we got a team, don't we? Don't we feel pretty good about where we're at, especially with that defense is always going to be good, don't you think? A little bit of optimism here, Kaboli. Russell Wilson's bringing leadership, championship quality. He's bringing sandwiches, the Danger Witch, and his nickname is Mr. Unlimited.
And then we could talk about another addition they made in Patrick Queen. I mean, the absolute dog. Patrick Queen has done it all as a linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens last season, and he is just starting to hit his prime. 24 years old, first-round pick out of LSU for Baltimore, and has been very healthy, right? A guy that has been on the football field, has missed one game in his career. One football game. Now, last season, he's coming off a career season, only has one season out of 4 where he didn't get 100 tackles, right? But the year he didn't get 100, he had 98. He was basically right there. Last season, 133 tackles. I mean, let me just show you this real quickly. Now, guys, before we get into Patrick Queen and what he adds to the Pittsburgh Steelers, do me a big favor. Hit the like button so we can get this video out to more Pittsburgh Steelers fans around the world, but also subscribe if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And I'm going to be covering the Steelers for the rest of the offseason, free agency, the draft, training camp, mini camp, whatever it may be. I got you guys covered. So hit the like button, comment down below the number 1 if you like this type of video. I'll make sure to continue to post them from here on out. With that being said, let's get right into Patrick Queen. All right, so what we noticed right away is look at these tackles. He's been so consistent. 84 tackles last season, 1 forced fumble, 3.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, an interception. The guy can do everything. 6 pass deflections, 10 run stuffs. Not only can he come up and stop the run, not only can he drop back into his zone coverage and, kind of play well in that area of the football field as well, but he's also really good at reading the quarterback's eyes and making sure he knows where the football is going, and which is why, he's been relatively good over the past 2 seasons. He's starting to develop. He's starting to hit that prime of his career where he knows how to read a quarterback, right? He knows how to read a play. He knows where to be on the football field at the perfect time. Patrick Queen is a guy who is young, hungry, and developing. And when we look at the Steelers' defense last season, the one area they really struggled in was stopping the run at times. Ranking number 22 in yards allowed per rush and 21 in yards allowed per game on the ground, right? Now, Patrick Queen is a guy that is going to tremendously help this area of the football so much, the running defense, right? Then you look at the passing defense. Listen, they weren't great in that area as well, but where they were pretty good at for the majority of the season was getting to the quarterback and forcing some interceptions, right? Guys, and their completion percentage was actually really high as well, number 6 in the NFL. But they also made another move to help out the secondary. We're going to talk about that just in 1 second. But let me show you this real quickly.
Anytime you join this organization and they talk about this game, it's the game that defines you and makes you a Raven. And when I was on their sideline my rookie year, Mike Tomlin was looking at me, yelling at me, "You're not a Raven. You're not a Raven. You're not supposed to be there. You're not one of them." So every time I play them, it's something personal.
And then they traded for a man in Dante Jackson, getting rid of Deontay Johnson's contract, freeing up some cap space, but now add a guy in Dante Jackson who I think could step in and be a number 1, a leader, a veteran, and a guy who can play right away while also helping to develop these younger guys in Joey Porter, Corey Trice, who is coming back next year. They released Pat Pete. They needed a guy like Dante Jackson. This was a perfect trade. Let's talk about this. Now, Dante Jackson is coming off a pretty rough season. However, before this last season, the man was absolutely insane, right? When we look at his first 4 or 5 seasons in the NFL, 4 interceptions, 3, 2, 2, right? Very consistent in terms of forcing turnovers. Then he had one bad year, and people are like, oh, he's done. Get him out the NFL. No, he's only 28 years old, a former second-round pick for Carolina back in 2018, and the Steelers basically just got him for a wide receiver who they can easily replace. We know how good the Steelers are at developing wide receivers. I think Calvin Austin is going to take a major jump up next season, and I think there's other guys that are going to come here, maybe a Michael Thomas, maybe a Tyler Boyd, hearing that a little bit. So I think the wide receiver room will be fine. You needed a guy here in Dante Jackson who can come and force some turnovers, but as well be a leader. We saw that video of him in the huddle, or in the pregame locker room, right? Just being a leader, a motivator. Guys, this is a huge pickup. You need that guy, especially when you look at the young guys on the roster in terms of the secondary with Joey Porter and, Corey Trice, Luke Barku, right? There's so many young guys on this roster defensively in the secondary. You need some of these guys, right? And now you have a Joey Porter Jr., DeShawn Elliott, Micah Fitzpatrick, Dante Jackson, right? Maybe you want to add another nickel corner. You have Darius Rush, who is pretty solid, but continue to get better from here. I love this addition of Dante Jackson right away. Now, the first thing you notice about DeShawn Elliott when you watch his game film is the man is extremely tenacious. He doesn't care where he is, who he's going up against. The man is going to do whatever it takes to make a tackle. Now, in this play specifically, you see him make an unbelievable stop on the goal line against Tony Pollard, keeping him out of the end zone, letting his defense live yet another down here. But the man is a very reliable tackler. Over the past 4 or 5 seasons, the man has been insanely good when healthy. Now, he has had 2 seasons where he's been not healthy and 3 seasons where he's been, relatively healthy. Now, last season with the Miami Dolphins, he played 15 games, 82 tackles, 53 of those solo, 1 fumble recovery, and an interception as well. But as well as that, he's had a couple of run stuffs. The man has been really, solid, versatile, dynamic in terms of coming up and actually stopping the run at times, but normally used as a deep safety, and also is very dynamic, right? They can play him in multiple different positions. He can be someone who can come off the bench, but also can be someone who can be a spot star for you. Now, what I mean by that is if you have, let's just say, for the Steelers scenario, if you have, Micah Fitzpatrick, who gets banged up for a week and needs someone to start for him for a week, I think DeShawn Elliott is a perfect fit. Now, outside of that, when we look at the Steelers' rankings from last season, they actually ranked number 11 in sack percentage, number 11 in interception percentage, and then they allowed 225 pass yards per game, which was about 16th in the NFL, and also number 21 in yards allowed per pass attempt. Now, I'm not saying DeShawn Elliott's a guy that's going to completely fix all those problems, but he's a guy that can force incompletions. He's a guy that can really hit up top, and, if you want a safety that doesn't care about who he's going up against and wants to win every single snap, this is the guy you want on your football team, right? He makes big hits, he makes big plays, and when it matters the most, right? Now you're going to see him in coverage here versus an inside route. Just amazing coverage there by him, just sticking on his guy like some glue. And again, on a run play, bites down, puts his body on line, and gets a nice tackle there. Now, when you talk about what the Steelers have right now this season, you look at Joey Porter Jr., who needs some development. Well, listen, DeShawn Elliott is a guy who can help develop. He's a leader. I believe he's 26 years old, but he's been in the league for 5 years. So he's been there, he's done that, he's experienced. Great tackler. I think he's not only going to be someone who can come in, and this is a big one, okay? Wanted to show this one because this is against Derrick Henry, right? Breaks the block here, gets in there, and again, no fearless, right? No care in the world who he's going up against. Let me get low, let me wrap him up, and let me bring down Derrick Henry. Well, the reason this is a big deal is because Derrick Henry is now in Baltimore. So he's going to have to go against these young guys, or not these young guys, but these powerful guys here. And I think this is one of the main reasons they went over and got him, because they know how fearless he is. They know how much of a tackler he is. And again, he wants to win every single possession. And they do with this one. This is a big pickup for them. Steelers having a great offseason so far, and they're only getting better from here.